Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aeron Nix, the ever-present voice of British professional wrestling, and this is the Wrestling 4 from the box in FarGo, Coventry. Have you ever seen a more filled-up box in all your life? Oh, suits you, sir. Time for some professional wrestling action in Coventry. Ready is an understatement, ladies and gentlemen, and I might be the voice of British professional wrestling. If you want to talk about the sexiest face in all of British professional wrestling, that's got to go to my boy, Troy Grant, your host and MC for the Wrestling 4 here in the box.
Thank you very much, everyone. Good evening. Welcome, boys and girls, wrestling fans of all ages and identities. Welcome to the box, and more importantly, welcome to the wrestling! Now, I'm aware it's Friday night. You could have been doing anything. Could have been at home with your feet up, watching, I don't know, whatever's on TV. Could have been in a beer garden. Weather's nice, with a nice cold beverage. You could have been on holiday in Skegness. You could have been at the Island Festival watching Heather Small from M People. But you're not. You're here with us, and that means a lot. So thank you. So tonight we've got 5 massive matches lined up for you, full of action, drama, athleticism, and just the right amount of chaos. Think gladiators meets EastEnders, but in spandex. That went down well. Whether this is your first time at a wrestling show or you've been yelling, "This is awesome," since the Attitude Era, you have come to the right place. Expect high-flying heroes, despicable villains, jaw-dropping moves, and quite possibly someone getting hit with something that definitely isn't regulation. And yes, I've heard you all asking, we do have a raffle! I said we do have a raffle! So there are some fabulous prizes, some mystery delights, and maybe even something from the pound shop that looks suspiciously like gold. But make sure you buy a ticket, they are on sale. I believe it's £2 for a strip or £3 for a fiver. Probably, don't quote me on that. Anyway, quick one, this is a family-friendly show, so bring the noise, cheer your favourites, cheer your favourites, boo the bad guys, respectfully, of course, and keep it fun for everyone. Be loud, be kind, and don't spill your snacks, unless dramatically. So, with that said, FarGo, the box, are you ready? Yeah! Not good enough. Are you ready? Yeah! Brilliant. So, with that, let's get the first match underway. Let the madness commence. Hang on, we're missing something. Someone. A referee! Ladies and gentlemen, your referee for the evening, Mr. Charles Wheeler! Ladies and gentlemen, your first match is a tag team match, and it is scheduled for 1 fall. They know the thing. Introducing first.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said, welcome to the Wrestling 4, and thank you so much to our magnificent host, Troy Grant. Doesn't he look smashing in that pair of blouse and short combination? Gorgeous young man that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to open up with some tag team wrestling.
The team of Big Baby, Roy Johnson, and the Wolf of Broad Street, Alexander Rock. Together they are the 8-7!
You can't talk about tag team wrestling without talking about the best in the game. I have had the pleasure of calling so many of the 8-7s matchups. There you see Big Wavy Roy Johnson, pure protein factory, baby. Look at the size of him. And speaking of talent, ain't nobody better than the Wolf of Broad Street, Mr. Multiversal, Alexander Roth, the best hybrid wrestler in the game. I've had so many people asking me, when is Alexander Roth going to be in the big time? Well, Alexander Roth is the big time. Don't get it twisted. And of course, both of these men have really blazed a trail like no other as far as tag team professional wrestling is going. You go anywhere, you ask anyone about British professional wrestling's tag team dynasty, and they will mention the 8-7, and rightfully so, although quite a mixed reception here from the box in FarGo in Coventry. I tell you what, they're going to have a fantastic opportunity on their hands, because their opponents tonight are two of the most exciting up-and-comers in all of British professional wrestling.
And their opponents.
All cheer at once.
Necessarily be on the radar quite as much as the 8-7 have been, but certainly will be dominating that radar for years to come. The team of Edgar Adams and Nate Riley, the Skywalker, and they are, of course, Zeros the heroes, and they are frantic. They are ready to go. They got all the energy. Slightly taller one with a beautiful chest tattoo, of course, being Nate Riley, and the man in the red and black is Edgar Adams, two extremely devastating and very, very finely tuned professional wrestlers from the Kamikaze Pro Dojo in the Midlands. One of the finest professional wrestling institutes that has been churning out quality for many a day. Just think about Chantel Jordan alone, one of the very best women's wrestlers in the world today. This is going to be a high-flying, exciting matchup. Unless, of course, you're Big Wave, in which case you're probably looking to ground these two men early doors. Referee Charles Wheeler, of course, in charge of this tag team matchup, which opens up the Wrestling 4. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Professional wrestling action at its finest. And don't forget, of course, if you are a fan of what you're watching, definitely worth checking out the wrestling on social media and getting your tickets for when we return to Coventry. Nate Riley's all pumped up, but ain't nobody more pumped up. I mean, Nate Riley's in great condition. Obviously very popular here.
Commence wrestling.
Commence wrestling indeed. And Nate Riley offering up his hand. Little bit of, big wavy. Not interested in sportsmanship. Big smile on his face. Nice handshake for our referee. One of the best in the game, by the way, is Charles. And here we go. It looks like we're going to start out with Nate Riley and big wavy Roy Johnson. Nate Riley, since the last time I've seen him, has put on the pound. He is in magnificent shape. Some of the stuff he can do from an aerial standpoint will leave you breathless, ladies and gentlemen. Collar and elbow tight, but there's the power disposition right there as Big Wavy sends Nate Riley crashing to the floor. Well, Big Wavy might be impressed with his pure size, but this crowd certainly isn't. And you see the Skywalker emblazoned on the tights of Nate Riley. Tag's been made to Alexander Roth, who, by the way, can hang with the very best of them in every single facet of professional wrestling. Like I said, for my money, the best hybrid wrestler in the game today. Squaring off now with a collar and elbow tie up to Nate Riley, who applies a headlock to Mr. Multiversal himself. Seems to be a lot of audible disposition coming from Alexander Roth, and shoulder tackle attempt, and Alexander Roth comes bouncing off the ropes. Alexander Roth, not exactly a slouch in the muscle department himself. Great shoulder tackle taking Nate Riley off of his game, and that's exactly what you got to do if you're the 8-7. A little bit of twerk action there. Family friendly. Keep it clean, gentlemen. Beautiful leapfrog over the top goes Nate Riley, and now catches Alexander Roth once again with a shoulder block, with a beautiful one-legged standing drop kick right to the throat. Snaps on a beautiful tilted head scissors. And Alexander Roth, he's all 6s and 7s here as a member of the 8-7, and back in comes the powerhouse, and sidestep, tag made by Edgar Adams. Interesting offense here. Beautiful monkey flip into the midsection. Wow, fast, rapid offense. Enziguru's well-educated feet from Edgar Adams as well there with that beautiful PK. Both of these men looking to dismantle the power, and Alexander Roth not impressed with that. Misses the clothesline and gets a double hip toss for his troubles, and Zeros to Heroes looking to drop the double elbow, and Alexander Roth says none of that. And meanwhile, Big Wavy left to his own disposition against Zeros to Heroes. Irish whip, double hip toss attempt, and there's the power again. Good God almighty. Just flexed his biceps, and both men crashed into each other. Speaking of crash, double clothesline, courtesy of Big Wavy. Let the meaty men go to work, ladies and gentlemen. Alexander Roth just launching Edgar Adams into the opposition's corner. Oh my God, in a beautiful double team maneuver with the Enziguri snapped off by Alexander Roth and the flying forearm. That is very smart by Alexander Roth. Our fans here might not like that, but beautiful European uppercut as well. Try a show you can. Alexander Roth is really feeling himself tonight, and understandably so. One of the most charismatic men walking this earth. Back breaker to poor Edgar Adams. A split down the middle, and there's a kick right to the shoulder blade. And again, a violent forearm just takes Nate Riley off the apron, and this is what the 8-7 do as the most seasoned tag team going. Tag team wrestling is all about isolating your opponent in the corner. You can isolate the legal man and also keep cheap shot at the opponent. So you've got to stand yourself in very good stead to win this matchup. We've already seen a nasty backbreaker to Edgar Adams, courtesy of Alexander Roth, and now Big Wavy looking to use all of that power and a violent backbreaker once again. And obviously the modus operandi is to disable Edgar Adams, 2 count only. Already Edgar Adams in a world of trouble, now being worn down courtesy of the 8-7. Big Wavy, Roy Johnson. Those aren't average hams coming down on you, ladies and gentlemen. Those legs are like big oak trees. Just drilled into the midsection of poor Edgar Adams. Zeros to Heroes might be going the other way. When it's all said and done, as Edgar Adams is sent crashing back into no man's land. And Big Wavy, very slow, very methodical. He brings the power. He brings the deliberate pacing. And Alexander Roth brings all that crazy, high-flying, high-impact offense to boot. They are the perfect combination. You notice the tags are quick and frequent, keeping the guys fresh. This is absolutely textbook tag team wrestling, whether you like it or not. Our referee here, Charles, desperately trying to get some sort of order. Tag mode again. Well, Nate Riley trying to drum up some excitement, trying to drum some energy back into Edgar Adams, who's really taking a shellacking here. That was a violent low center of gravity off of that dropkick in the corner. Pinning combination with a leg hook, 2 count only. This is referee Charles Wheeler, and Alexander Roth now looking to go full pretzel time and disabling the arm and just wrenching back on the fingers. Look at all the different things that go. He's biting him as well, which isn't legal, might I add. And the left knee is drilled into the head, so Edgar Adams is going nowhere. He's isolated the arm. Beautiful senton by Alexander Roth, and pretty obvious what he thinks of Nate Riley. Well, it might be family friendly, but the 8-7 making it very, very clear that they're looking to blur those lines. And Edgar Adams trying to fight out the corner, showing a lot of heart and a lot of gumption for such a young man, and gets cut off by Alexander Roth. This is the difficult thing when you are, unfortunately, in no man's land, as Edgar Adams is. Alexander Roth, a little bit of hot dogging, but that forearm connected, and even the fist just brushed against the chin of Edgar Adams. Edgar Adams able to get his foot up, now goes up and over beautifully, creating separation, finally gets the tag to a fresh Skywalker. Here he goes, Nate Riley with clotheslines and plenty for Alexander Roth is cooking here. One of the big standouts from Kamikaze Pro. Handspring, Enziguri from Nate Riley catches Alexander Roth flush in the face, and immediately the box has come alive for the Skywalker. Look out, beautiful, beautiful code red from Nate Riley to Alexander Roth, who counters with a pin of his own. Meanwhile, Edgar Adams got a cheap shot in there. Some might argue warranted after all the cheap shots he took, courtesy of the 8-7, but once again, the symmetry, man, that headbutt drilled into the chin of Nate Riley. Meanwhile, Edgar Adams sent off the ropes, had a pounce right in the middle of the ring. Big wavy, connects big time with Edgar Adams and just flattens Nate Riley in the corner with that forearm. Isolating Nate Riley so Alexander Roth can deliver that vicious rising knee lift. Roth is coming in, a big old spear cuts Nate Riley in half in the middle of the ring. Could be done here. The Eagle Man is Alexander Roth, but Edgar Adams breaks up the pin. I don't think that Nate Riley was going to answer the fall there. I think he would have been counted out for free if not for his partner Edgar Adams, who reverses the momentum and sends Big Wavy to the outside. Edgar Adams now, the legal man, walks right in to a flying enziguri to the face. Speaking of which, a beautiful roundhouse kick connects again to the chin, and Edgar Adams has had his dome rocked since the beginning. European uppercut as well to boot, and this is just relentless, violent offense. Could be a tag team combination here. Beautiful DDT combination courtesy of the 8-7, and that will be that, ladies and gentlemen. Call. The 8-7 are your winners, and understandably so. In the professional wrestling landscape, it is hard to look past the 8-7. But don't count out zeros to heroes. What an impressive effort from Edgar Adams and Nate Riley. And what a bright future they have. They looked fantastic in this matchup for large portions, but the experience game, the power game, unfortunately became all too true for zeros to heroes. And it's Big Wavy Roy Johnson and Alexander Roth chalking up another dub. Your winners, ladies and gentlemen, the 8-7. Well, the 8-7 having a look at Nate Riley and Edgar Adams, and it's like a show of respect courtesy of the 8-7, and understandably so, because Nate Riley and Edgar Adams impressed, and I can understand them being a little bit cautious, but handshakes have been applied, and gratefully so, and that says a lot about just how good zeros to heroes are. That the 8-7, despite that bad disposition, was still willing to show a bit of sportsmanship, a bit of love, an impressive effort. A losing effort, unfortunately, for Edgar Adams and Nate Riley here at the Wrestling 4, but an impressive result nonetheless, and an opportunity to take a bow. But it's the 8-7 who walk away with a dub here in tag team action.
Let's hear it one more time. Zeros to heroes. What an opening contest to kick off the wrestling, wouldn't you agree? Yeah. Well, we are just getting started. Our next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from that graphic, we have a mammoth singles matchup on tap for you here. The technical assassin is in the house.
Here's the technical assassin, Brandon Lee!
Lee looks well up for it here, making an appearance here at the Wrestling 4 in FarGo. absolutely jam-packed to the rafters with rabid, excited professional wrestling fans. What a fantastic noisy bunch you are. We hope to welcome you back when the Wrestling 5 returns later this year. More details on that later on, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, boy, have we got a special singles match for you. And by the way, not the first time I've called this singles matchup in professional wrestling. And if it's anything like the last one, this is going to be a real doozy, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Lee looks to be in an extremely good mood this afternoon.
His opponent.
His opponent, not quite as much, but man, you want to talk about one of the best professional wrestlers. This guy has all the tools to be a mega star in all of professional wrestling. Never mind the British professional wrestling landscape. Here comes the biggest of big country bosses, ladies and gentlemen. Morrison, I remember many years ago headed down to 4FW in Swindon and capturing a look at this young lad with far less hair at the time called Bronson and thinking this kid's got a bright future. He was big then, he's even bigger now, and my God has he improved leaps and bounds in those years and is rapidly becoming one of the best wrestlers in the world and beating himself, rightfully so. Other than that, I'm pretty hockey too, ladies and gentlemen. The Stallion, Chris Bronson. Well, a untimely chop to the buttocks, courtesy of Brandon Lee. Oh, suits you, sir. Well, this is going to be an absolute whopper matchup here. Singles action between the Stallion, Chris Bronson, in the black tights versus, the black trunks, shall I say, excuse me. Black trunks, black knee pads, gorgeous boots. Chris Bronson, of course, facing the man in the red and black tights, Brandon Lee. For those of you who haven't seen Brandon Lee, of course, I know him very well. We both attend the same training school, All-Star Wrestling South, down in Salisbury, and many people argue Brandon Lee one of the finest students to ever come out of that school. Looks like Chris Bronson is going to take his sweet time getting things started here. Brandon Lee is up for it. Brandon Lee is ready. The happiest to see Brandon Lee in a long time, but Chris Bronson, although in what appears to be a good mood, reluctant to get this match started. Chris Bronson taking his sweet time to get in the ring, and these are all mind games there, a facetious round of applause from Brandon Lee, the technical assassin. Brandon Lee is definitely ready. The question is Chris Bronson ready? Apparently so. Here we go. Charles Wheeler says, ring the bell. One-on-one action, singles action, one fall to a finish here at the Wrestling 4 in FarGo, Coventry. As I said earlier, the box has been rabid this evening. Here we go. Colorado tie between two colossus of the professional wrestling game. Headlock applied. Shoulder tackle takes Brandon Lee crashing down to the floor. There's the power disposition of Chris Bronson. Brandon Lee might have a slight height advantage, but ain't nobody as explosive as Chris Bronson. That's what he does. He seems to be so calm, so methodical, and then just like that, he goes from first to fifth gear and forget about it. And most people have a real hard time handling that. Following our time, headlock applied by Chris Bronson. Brandon Lee looking to send Chris Bronson off the ropes, trying to lift him up, and catches him once again with that shoulder tackle. And you're seeing what this match is going to be all about. A lot of posturing here, a lot of power. Chris Bronson, as if he wasn't confident enough coming into this matchup, certainly will be after those first two early exchanges. Seems to have the better of Brandon Lee right now, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and Brandon Lee certainly wouldn't be beaten by a shoulder tackle, ladies and gentlemen. This crowd are all over Chris Bronson. He hasn't brought it on himself. Another headlock applied. Headlock master. Here's Chris Bronson. Brandon Lee able to escape once again, looking to trip him up. This time leapfrogs over the top and a hip toss, and got every little bit of that. A big old scoop slam in the middle of the ring. And now a clothesline sends Bronson up and over to the outside. And this time round, Brandon Lee saw it coming and gets the better of Chris Bronson in that exchange. Big meaty men slapping meat here in Coventry, and looks like Chris Bronson's already looking for a timeout here. Looking to just calm things down. Wasn't quite expecting Brandon Lee to send him up and over with such ferocity. Well, Chris Bronson's getting a lot of time jaw jacking, and meanwhile Brandon Lee says, "Alright, sunshine," does an uppercut to the chin, and Chris Bronson forced to take a seat out here with the patrons of the Wrestling Forum. A knife edge chop is certainly not going to make things any better. And oh my lord, big old knife edge chop for that member of the audience. Hopefully getting his money's worth. Brandon Lee is offering up. Chris Bronson gets a slap right round the stomach, and those chiseled efforts of Chris Bronson getting a workout courtesy to some of our fans here. And this has deteriorated into a brawl very, very quickly between Brandon Lee and Chris Bronson. Oh boy, nobody home on that knife edge chop, and I don't think Chris Bronson appreciates chopping a solid steel ring post, but that's exactly what just happened. Brandon Lee is keen to get this match over and done with, understandably so, considering just how dangerous Chris Bronson can be. And it's taking a long time getting back into the ring, and Chris Bronson takes full advantage of that and cuts off the technical assassin at the pass. And here we go, Chris Bronson now looking to gain a measure of control in this singles matchup. Big old switch into the corner. Brandon Lee gets his elbow up, sends himself up to the second rope, gets caught in the middle. Jesus Christ. Crashing back down to earth like Icarus, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Lee flying way too close to the sun there, and Chris Bronson now will take full advantage of whiplash effect as Brandon Lee's head, neck and back collided with the canvas, and now just being choked against the second rope. Bronson exercising order, that 5 count, risking disqualification. Rehabilitate Brandon Lee some more, and Brandon Lee fighting out of the corner, not allowing Chris Bronson a moment of rest as he's sent off the ropes on a lovely flying back elbow, slows down the technical assassin. Pinfall, 2 count only, says referee Charles Wheeler. Beautiful armbar, snap armbar there. Didn't maintain the hold as you might see quite often in MMA, but just snapped it back, and that is going to do serious damage to the elbow and potentially the shoulder. Could have hyperextended the elbow or the shoulder, and they're all about hyperextensions. They are not fun. And now a humongous Irish whip in the corner, and Brandon Lee crashes back down to the canvas. Bronson taking a moment to admire his handiwork as he drops the elbow right across the throat. Pinfall once again, 2 count only as Brandon Lee shoots his left shoulder off the canvas. The Stallion is jaw-jacking like no other, and I've seen a level of confidence, a level of arrogance I've not seen for many a day. Meanwhile, Brandon Lee powers through with a suplex of his own. I think Bronson was looking to take him up and over, but he took way too long hot dog, and Brandon Lee caught him a little bit short. Doesn't get anything coming in with the back elbow though. Bronson now with a DDT, flush into the floor. Goes Brandon Lee's skull. Pinfall attempt once again. All that body weight across the shoulder, but Brandon Lee able to get his shoulder up again. Chris Bronson, telling our referee to watch his action, but Chris Bronson would do well not to draw the ire of referee Charles Wheeler again. Snap, suplex to Brandon Lee. Attempt once again, 2 count only. Chris Bronson taking his sweet time to get the cover there and maybe cost himself a potential victory. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. And there's a lot of jaw jacking going on between our good referee Charles and Chris Bronson here. There's the power on display. 6-4 Brandon Lee suplexed up onto the ropes, courtesy of Chris Bronson. as you can clearly see, Chris Bronson in the shape of a lifetime. The kind of body most of us can only dream of. And now up to the second rope goes Chris Bronson, and yeah, this is not a good position to be in for Brandon Lee. Pretty susceptible, but looks to be putting the brakes on, has his legs hooked around the top turnbuckle there to ensure he can't just be drilled off of it. The headbutt sends Chris Bronson off the ropes. Now Brandon Lee, ever the acrobat for a man of his size, from the top rope, missile drop kick. Have you ever seen a man of 6'4", 260 come off the top rope quite like that? Stunning athleticism. But I expect anything less from an all-star graduate, ladies and gentlemen. And both of these men now down in the middle of the ring. Chris Bronson looking to regain his equilibrium as he's Brandon Lee. And now a lovely kick up from Brandon Lee. Looks like he's all fired up. Close line delivered to Chris Bronson. Back elbow delivered as well. Special delivery. Yeah, make sure that's signed for at the very least. Now ducks the clothesline. Just Brandon Lee. Super kick on the chin. Forget about it. Pinfall could be enough, but not enough body on body contact with a pin. You'll notice Brandon Lee not able to get enough of his upper body across the shoulders of Chris Bronson, and that might have very well been enough to make sure that Chris Bronson is able to get his shoulder off the canvas. But Brandon Lee is in the ascendancy here in this singles matchup in the Wrestling 4. This is just our second matchup of 5, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, are we cooking. We are firing on all cylinders here in our return to the boxing FarGo Coventry. Spine buster from the Stallion. Forget about it, but Brandon Lee once again able to get his shoulder off the canvas. Credit to Brandon Lee, who has stuck at it. He is still in the game. A mere mortal would have been flattened by that spine buster. Certainly wouldn't have answered a 3 count, but Brandon Lee, of course, no mere mortal. One of the biggest and most impressive powerhouses and technical assassins in the game. It's not just a moniker, it's something that he lives by. And once again, flying in with ferocity, gets caught with a fireman's carry and a suplex, almost an attitude adjustment, courtesy of Brandon Lee to Bronson. Pinfall! Oh wow, 2.78. 2.78 was the pin, but Brandon thinks that was a 3. It wasn't though. Amazing. Chris Bronson just able to get his shoulder off the canvas. Brandon Lee signaling to head to the top. Certainly paid dividends last time out with that beautiful missile drop kick. Can he go for 2? Oh, what's going on here? Somebody, wait a minute, in the background, somebody just shoved. Who the hell just did that? Someone just shoved Brandon Lee off of the top rope. And meanwhile, Bronson drills the Stallion driver knee right into the back of Brandon Lee's skull. And Chris Bronson has stolen one, courtesy of a massive assist. Well, Chris Bronson has beaten Brandon Lee here, but that's not the full story, is it? And oh no, yeah, well, what a surprise. Charlie Sterling, one of the best in the game, but certainly lacking in moral fibre at the moment, is the reason that Brandon Lee has not picked up a picture of Chris. Oh yeah, real classy. Chris Bronson and Charlie Sterling taking an opportunity to work over Brandon Lee. Apparently we're going to hear from Charlie Sterling right now.
Congratulations, Chris Bronson!
Congratulations, courtesy of a massive assist. Cheating scumbags is what they are.
My name is Charlie Sterling, and I am worth every pound. Not only am I not from Coventry, but I'm from Leicester.
fucking boy. Now tonight, I am in the main event, of course. Wrestling Big Jim DIEHARD. Now as you can see, I have friends in high places, and I can assure you, ugly Big Jim DIEHARD has no friends at all.
Well, that's clearly not the case, is it? There's a room full of friends right here tonight.
Number 46 to Coventry to lose tonight, so I can tell you for a fact, including you, Four Eyes, that I'm the winner tonight and go home with all the money because I am worth every pound.
Charlie Sterling making it very clear. We will see Charlie Sterling later on in our main event, but a lot of damage done courtesy of Charlie Sterling. Your winner tonight, Chris Bronson, courtesy of a massive assist from Charlie Sterling.
Charlie, just before you head off, for your shenanigans tonight, your main event is now a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh, baby! Wow, I'll tell you what, you stuck your nose in where it doesn't belong. And our GM and host, Troy Grant, has decided turnabout is fair play.
It means whatever Big Jim DIEHARD wants to do to you, he will.
Falls count anywhere means no disqualification, no countouts, no nothing. You can pin your man anywhere in the building.
We've taken out the trash, so let's move on to the next match. Your next match is your first half main event, and it is scheduled for one more. Introducing first.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be quite the matchup. Singles action to close out the first half here at the Wrestling 4.
Introducing first, he is the Sly Tactician, KIAN.
Fox, the sly tactician for the best part of 20 years, has been blazing a trail through all of professional wrestling. There's a lot of swagger about KIAN Fox, and understandably so when you are the size and you have the skill set of KIAN Fox, who, by the way, I stood next to KIAN Fox. This is a mammoth individual, ladies and gentlemen. The very best part of 6'4" and 270 pounds, in the shape of a lifetime. Truly a high IQ athlete. I talk about mental acumen in the game. You need to have a very strong mind of professional wrestling, and they don't come much stronger than KIAN Fox. The attitude might be lacking, but the mental acumen certainly isn't. It sounds like we're going to hear from KIAN Fox right now.
I'll keep this short and sweet, just like your levels of intelligence. You may have seen on the posters that I am taking on the mighty, funny big man, the Flatliner. But let me tell you something. The only thing that's a joke round here is you lot. And to prove it, it doesn't matter how big or how small, how wide, how heavy, how muscular they come, the Fox always comes out on top.
Well, that certainly was short and sweet. And Flatliner is scheduled to face KIAN Fox.
Mr. Fox, unfortunately, the Flatliner hasn't been able to make it this evening. However, we have scoured the country. We have found a more than worthy opponent. Introducing his opponent.
Well, the Flatliner unfortunately can't make it due to injury, ladies and gentlemen. Very curious to see who's going to face KIAN Fox, who said he'll take on any man. The music plays. Oh no. Oh no, well, I've heard this music before, and ladies and gentlemen, if it is indeed who I think it is, KIAN Fox might be thrown for a loop here because his opponent, oh baby, a true icon of professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. KIAN Fox asks for a challenge no matter how big or small. They don't come much smaller in stature, but bigger in heart. The Little Legs, Europe's smallest wrestler, and as Troy Grant so beautifully said, star of many a Hollywood movie, including the Harry Potter franchise, he comes. Little Legs, ladies and gentlemen. And I imagine a lot of people right now watching this figure. Hold on a second. How in God's name is he meant to compete with someone the size and power of KIAN Fox? Well, mind games are plenty. Little Legs has not got this far in the game by allowing his smaller stature to slow him down. This is truly a world-class professional wrestler. They do indeed come in fantastic and small packages, do great things, ladies and gentlemen, and none greater, of course, than Little Legs himself, who's well up for it. And by the way, not the first time. I mean, KIAN Fox is too keen, and Little Legs taking a rest. Looks like KIAN Fox is not particularly keen on the idea of facing Little Legs once again. Arguably his greatest adversary.
No messing around!
Well, dare I say, KIAN Fox quite tentative. And frankly, I detect a bit of fear in KIAN Fox.
Foxy rocks!
Little Legs is the cry. And Little Legs looking to rally this audience behind him. He's going to need every bit of it to dispatch KIAN Fox. Easy. And watching a budgery guard chase a cockatiel around the ring is quite amusing, to be honest. KIAN Fox seems a little rattled here. Obviously, the game plan was to face Flatliner. Had no idea that Little Legs was going to be here this afternoon. But whether we like it or not, here we go. Singles matchup. 6'4", 270 pounds of KIAN Fox, there or thereabouts, against what appears to be about 3 feet of fury, ladies and gentlemen, and the icon, the Hollywood star himself, Little Legs. Little Legs certainly has the audience checkers right between the legs. And this is the advantage of the size difference. Little Legs is able to do things that so many wrestlers couldn't even dream of doing. If I tried to go through the legs of KIAN Fox, probably end up falling over if I'm being honest. And Little Legs is biting the backside of KIAN Fox. And now, not entirely sure what was happening there. And now Little Legs has wrapped himself around that big old tree trunk. Oh, KIAN Fox demanding that Little Legs be removed from his leg. Now just dragging him over. I mean, yeah, kinda. It's pretty amusing from my perspective. Oh, Little Legs, like a spider monkey, refusing to be removed from KIAN Fox. I'm watching a grandfather. That pendulum-like ability, trying to swing Little Legs, trying to remove him. Well, I think KIAN Fox was looking to yeet Little Legs into the ropes, and meanwhile Little Legs using his smaller stature to sweep KIAN Fox off of his feet. And now, oh boy, looking to back that posterior up. They're going to drop all of that Hollywood fame south onto the face of KIAN Fox and done so. It's on the chest. By the way, that is a pinfall, but I don't think Little Legs is appreciative of having KIAN Fox's nose so dangerously close to the moneymaker, and I'm sure as hell can tell you that KIAN Fox does not appreciate having all the Little Legs of what he had for breakfast on display.
You little nut!
There's no need for that. A lack of respect for a legend.
No game! Come here!
Oh, come on. KIAN Fox obviously doesn't appreciate being embarrassed courtesy of Little Legs, but somebody say he had it coming.
You wanna play? Yes! Oh! Come on then, dance with the big boys!
Well, KIAN Fox offering up a test of strength, no respect, and I think Little Legs needs to be very careful. They was looking to get a handful of the crown jewels, and KIAN Fox would be well advised to watch his privates. It is cold in here, it has to be said, but
You want to play with the big boys? Come on! Stick his false teeth in your back!
KIAN Fox is clearly off with his game here tonight. And Little Legs asking for a test of strength. Well, Little Legs clearly can't reach. The lack of respect from KIAN Fox. Little Legs has always been a gay. Oh, come on. Shoved to the floor below. And now, oh yeah, KIAN Fox now laying the boots in. Real big man. Picking on someone the size of Little Legs. It is an official matchup as, Jesus Christ almighty. That massive boot of KIAN Fox being put into the face of poor Little Legs. And Little Legs already prone. Right hand being isolated. KIAN Fox, oh come on. KIAN Fox stamping on the hand of Little Legs. That's going to do serious damage, with all due respect to a man of Little Legs size. And KIAN Fox really showing what kind of a reprehensible human being he is here. Picking up Little Legs with ease, and now a huge world's strongest slam. Interesting analogy there as he looks to drop the leg, but Little Legs was smart enough to get out of the way. And well, this is what Little Legs needs to do. He's got to keep KIAN Fox down while he can. KIAN Fox is enjoying this matchup. And now, oh wow. I'm not sure how advisable that is to kiss someone the likes of KIAN Fox, but Little Legs now looking to clothesline KIAN Fox, who's on his knees and is still taller than that. That gives you an idea of just how big KIAN Fox is. Oh, Little Legs asking for a little bit of faith from the man upstairs. Another clothesline, and KIAN Fox is having a really good time laughing at the expense of Little Legs. Of course, Little Legs is going to have a hard time clotheslining some of the likes of KIAN Fox, who just drops him down with a lariat with ease. Absolutely no respect. I'd expect better even from KIAN Fox. I know this is all fun and games, and I know that Little Legs has come here to have fun and enjoy this matchup, but come on, a little bit of respect is due to the legend. KIAN Fox just dragging Little Legs up with ease, by the way, as Little Legs still trying to have some fun, but dragged into a corner courtesy of KIAN Fox. And oh man, Little Legs perched on the ropes, and KIAN Fox comes running in. Little Legs able to counter with a kick to the face, and a kick right to the shins. And shoves KIAN Fox onto the bottom rope. Oh, look out. Could be time for the ultimate 619. Probably the world's lowest central gravity 619 you will ever see. But Little Legs connects with two whopper boots to the face of KIAN Fox. You can't see me, says Little Legs. Big splash in the middle of the ring. And oh man, the referee was counting for two, and Little Legs inadvertently ended up in the arms of referee Charles Wheeler. Getting a little pump on, getting a little bit of a bicep curl in there is Charles. And I don't think Little Legs appreciates our referee Whoa, 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 careful now. And in the meantime, KIAN Fox, cheap shot on Little Legs. Well, that talks about the stature of the man, doesn't it? A cheap shot attacking Little Legs from behind as he was remonstrating somewhat with the referee. Well, KIAN Fox is not exactly showing himself off in a great light here as he's just choking poor Little Legs on the ropes. And KIAN Fox is a mammoth man, ladies and gentlemen. If he choked an average-sized human being or anyone above that size, it would be devastating enough. But Little Legs has been given a beverage courtesy of one of our audience. Anything this audience could do to help Little Legs get back into the fight, they're going to do. Such is the magnitude of his fame. But KIAN Fox now just, come on, driving poor Little Legs' face into the middle turnbuckle. And well, momentum is a funny thing, ladies and gentlemen. And poor Little Legs, bless his heart, it's just, he looks to be pretty much out on his feet. And KIAN Fox is done playing apparently. Look out, big splash coming. Oh man, he was looking for the world's biggest Bronco buster and unfortunately caught himself on the middle rope. This is a bad, oh my god, a power bomb out of the corner from Little Legs to KIAN Fox. Talk about power. Little Legs up. Oh, well, that was very smart from Little Legs. I'm giving credit. He was looking for a wishbone and got one. He asked the referee to hold the leg for a moment. And poor KIAN Fox has got more than he bargained for. And careful, Little Legs, careful now. I think referee Charles Wheeler saying you will get a Scott. Oh, come on! I mean, you know what? Fair enough. I can't really argue it, can I? You got to even the playing field. And referee Charles Wheeler was distracted. And meanwhile, Little Legs drove his head right into the crown jewels. The sly tactician is looking like a bit of a fool here, courtesy of Little Legs. He's up to the second rope, looking to ascend. Little Legs is looking to fly. Big old splash off the middle rope across the chest. And Little Legs has beaten the sly tactician. KIAN Fox has been done by a Hollywood megastar. I cannot believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Chalk one up for Little Legs. I've seen him beat so many greats in this game. Massive mammoth men like Bobby Vegas, but I didn't honestly believe he could knock off KIAN Fox, but he's made a believer out of me here tonight at the Wrestling 4. Little Legs knocks off the sly tactician in Coventry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to all the action here at the Wrestling 4. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the premium pirate of professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, People's captain, almost running into our magnificent photographer there, ladies and gentlemen, and Steve Valentino, full of energy, full of great spirit. He is excited, he is happy to be here at the Wrestling 4, but boy has he got a mammoth matchup ahead of him, because he'll be facing arguably one of the very best in the world today. This will be the ultimate test of the People's Captain's wrestling acumen, and looks like not everybody is a huge fan of the captain. And obviously she's not a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean. That's fine, ladies and gentlemen. We all have a choice of what we love and hate in professional wrestling, but how could you hate? So, oh, careful now, Steve Valentino, a little bit too excited getting into the ring. Steve Valentino, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is a magnificent professional wrestler in his own right. And like I said, he has got one hell of a matchup here tonight. Mixed reception for Steve Valentino. Maybe a little perplexing for a lot of our fans here, but when the action begins, trust me, there is absolutely no denying the quality of Steve Valentino. But his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, is rapidly becoming professional wrestling royalty in many people's eyes. Steve Valentino momentarily will be facing one of the very best in the game, a true aerial all-star, ladies and gentlemen. But a huge reception, understandably so, for one of the very best in the world. I've had the pleasure of calling many a JJ Gale matchup. They're fast, they're ferocious, they're fantastic. And those three things very much describe everything about JJ Gale, the heart and soul of British professional wrestling, where so many have moved on or sent themselves to higher pastures. JJ Gale has maintained his position and has stayed here on the British landscape. He is the very definition of excellence, and he is the defender of the great British professional wrestling circuit. The SWW heavyweight champion, heart and soul, JJ Gale, on his way to the ring, feeling extremely confident, and why wouldn't he be? A win-loss record like no other. Ladies and gentlemen, get a good look at JJ Gale, because one day this man is going to be on every single TV set in the world. I've had the pleasure of spending so much time with JJ Gale, a world-class human being, a world-class professional wrestler. This is going to be a stonker of a matchup, and Steve Valentino, I would argue this is the biggest test of his career to date. There it is, the SWW Heavyweight Championship. Truly prestigious gold in all of professional wrestling. Thank you so much to SWW for making it happen. For, dare I say, lending us their champion for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Steve Valentino is deciding, do you know what, referee? You've checked me. How about I check you? Check for foreign objects. We never know with Charles. Bit of a dangerous entity, is he? Yeah, check his top. You want to watch out for that. That's a dangerous man. Steve Valentino, not particularly eager to check the unmentionables of referee Charles Wheeler. He now checks on JJ Gale. Obviously, the mandatory checks of any great professional wrestling referee. They don't come much better than Charles, a really fantastic professional wrestling referee. There's a reason why he's the man in the middle. And this is going to be a fascinating matchup. Steve Valentino versus JJ Gale. I am very curious to see how Valentino handles the immeasurable aerial bombardment that is JJ GALE. Well, it looks like quite a few people back in JJ GALE in this affair, understandably so. A mixed reception and a split decision here from the audience, but ultimately we're going to have a winner one way or the other. Heart and Soul, JJ GALE versus the captain, Steve Valentino, calling up a tie-up, go behind by JJ GALE. Watch out for the pace, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, because when the pace quickens, ain't nobody catching JJ GALE. Wrestling JJ GALE is akin to wrestling an F-15 Raptor fighter jet. He is so rapid, so lethal. Headlock applied to Steve Valentino, but Valentino is no slouch, by the way. A real heavy hitter as well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And Valentino is going to look to try and slow down the high-flying nature of JJ GALE. Lovely roll through once again, kip up as well. And takes Valentino down to his front. As JJ GALE locks up the arms into a unique pinfall combination, 2 count only. And just like that, Steve Valentino has been put on the back foot courtesy of Heart and Soul. JJ GALE showing Steve Valentino a lot of respect. And Coventry very excited by this matchup. SWW Heavyweight Champion JJ GALE, Steve Valentino offering a handshake, offering the olive branch to JJ GALE. By the way, this matchup is not for the SWW Heavyweight Championship, but the champion, of course, takes that goal wherever he goes. And now Valentino using that handshake as an opportunity to gain a bit of leverage. And I guess you got to do whatever it takes when you're facing someone the likes of JJ GALE, and the list of opponents that JJ GALE has faced as of late absolutely beggars belief. It's a who's who of professional wrestling talents from all over the shop. AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, ex-WWE talents. He has literally been there and done it all. But Steve Valentino very smart here, looking to slow down JJ. Oh, JJ GALE does not appreciate things, and the referee Charles Wheeler asking JJ GALE just to relax a little bit. I don't think JJ GALE appreciates Steve Valentino taking liberties. Go behind by Steve Valentino. Single Morrison trap into the cravat. Lovely technique by Steve Valentino. Like I said, no slouch, particularly when it comes to technical wrestling. Goes right through that cravat into a headlock. Lovely, lovely technician that is Steve Valentino. Shoulder tackle takes down JJ GALE, and perhaps a slight power advantage. JJ GALE just kips up with ease. Does the SWW Heavyweight Champion. If you like a bit of style, if you like a bit of flair, if you like a bit of athleticism, then JJ GALE is your man. Head scissors applied by JJ GALE to Steve Valentino, who rather smartly keeps his shoulders off the canvas there. Lovely bridge by Steve Valentino, making sure that he's not in a pinning position. And JJ GALE giving Steve Valentino the business here as he's able to counter. Beautiful counter by Valentino, and I tell you what, gotta give the captain credit. He has been in control of JJ GALE from a technical standpoint very nicely so far. What the hell is he doing? And now, the captain's hook right into the left nostril of JJ GALE. Well, it may not be popular, but Steve Valentino is using every bit of his wily veteran nature to try and get one up on JJ GALE, and well, that didn't work. He's looking for the captain's hook once again. JJ GALE counters, Irish whip, countered again by Steve Valentino. Oh, look out! JJ GALE was looking to go up and over, and unfortunately for Steve Valentino, couldn't get underneath quickly enough. Unfortunately, JJ GALE landed right on his head. Up and over again goes JJ GALE. This time Valentino was able to get underneath, but doesn't seem to. Oh, this is what JJ GALE does. Quickens the pace beautifully. Lovely schoolboy roll up there by JJ GALE. Cartwheel blocks the lariat attempt by Steve Valentino. Go behind, comes off the ropes, and a beautiful flying back elbow catches Valentino flush. And this is what I meant, from first to fifth gear. And JJ GALE now in full control. Valentino is going to have a real hard time, as anyone would, dealing with the pace of the SWW Heavyweight Champion, who takes aim, gets sent up and over, but lands on his feet, as he quite often does. Shoulder to the midsection. JJ Gale goes right up and over, lands on his feet, springboard, leapfrogs over the back of Steve Valentino, bypasses him, and a lovely arm drag takedown to the captain, and a standing drop kick as well. And how do you combat the sheer pace and ferocity of someone of the nature of JJ Gale? It's very, very difficult. I certainly wouldn't want to be in the ring with JJ Gale. Don't mind the fact that I would have lost my lunch by now trying to go at the pace that JJ Gale sets for his opponents. And Steve Valentino certainly struggling on this end as JJ Gale slingshots himself to the outside, lands on his feet on the apron, and better head of Steve Valentino's under the ring. Yeah, I wonder where he's going indeed. And Steve Valentino's gone under the ring, and I think JJ Gale has sussed out that he might be going to the other side, and he's waiting for him to return. And Steve Valentino, I have no idea where he is. He's somewhere under the ring. JJ Gale, I think, is very aware, and Steve Valentino is playing mind games here, and like I said, will go to any lengths to try and disable the high-flying offense of JJ Gale, who's checking his metaphorical watch. Steve Valentino, where the hell is he? Could be anywhere under that ring. And there we go. Steve Valentino trying to get the jump, I believe, on JJ Gale. Looking to sneak into the ring. JJ Gale has no idea where he is. JJ Gale caught him coming in. And now the pace quickens once again, but a back elbow will certainly slow down the pace, and a clothesline as well. Steve Valentino leapfrogs over JJ Gale, and wow, huge hip toss into the net breaker. Beautiful combination offense by Steve Valentino, and oh wow, deep pinfall there. Almost got the SWW heavyweight champion. And by the way, if Steve Valentino knocks off JJ Gale here, surely he might be in the running for a title shot somewhere down the line at SWW. I'll leave that up to the wonderful people at SWW, including our good friend Pete, who has been very, very cool and very kind in helping us secure JJ Gale for the Wrestling 4 here in Coventry. Right after this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be sure to let you know all the details for our return to the box in FarGo in Coventry, and a stiff back elbow catches JJ Gale flush. Deep hitting combination, 2 count only. There's referee Charles Wheeler, and JJ Gale has been officially grounded. The flight plan has been stopped in its tracks, courtesy of the captain. Stiff kick to the midsection, and this is what Steve Valentino has to do. I mentioned, of course, the vicious disposition, and you saw it right there with that stiff kick right to the spine of JJ Gale. You do whatever it takes to ground an athlete of his ability. And the captain picks up JJ Gale, sends him down to the mat again with a scoop slam. Now looking to drive that left knee right across the dome of JJ Gale, straight into a deep pinning combination. You'll notice as well with Steve Valentino, no casual pins here, trying to hook both legs, trying to get as much body-on-body action as he can, because he knows that if he pins JJ Gale, it will catapult his career even further than it has done so far. JJ Gale trying to fight out from underneath, but Valentino cuts him off with that vicious forearm. And I mentioned the mean streak of the captain. Well, he's certainly showing that with full ferocity. A forearm shiver to the spine, and now he has JJ Gale in a suplex position. Lovely snap suplex applied by Valentino to JJ Gale. Pinfall once again, 2 count only. Well, credit to Steve Valentino, giving JJ Gale all he can handle here. I don't think the absolute megastar, the heart and soul of professional wrestling, was expecting such ferocity out of Steve Valentino, or maybe he was, and ultimately Steve Valentino has made a real case for just how talented he is here at the Wrestling 4. Valentino looking to drink in the lack of adoration. Beautiful standing senton to JJ Gale. Goes Steve Valentino. JJ Gale once again able to get his shoulder off the canvas. You can see JJ Gale looking a little shook, a little worse for wear, courtesy of the captain. And credit to Valentino, who has been on JJ Gale from the get-go, and as soon as he grounded him, he has not stopped. It has been a relentless barrage of offense as he's just brushing the face of JJ Gale with those forearms. I think Valentino has given up trying to impress this audience and is more interested in riling them up and disabling the aerial artistry of JJ Gale. And once again, you might notice just grabbing JJ Gale by the face. And I don't think JJ Gale is impressed at all. JJ Gale says, "You better get your hands off of me, sunshine," and puts on the brakes, does JJ Gale. But Steve Valentino looking for a tornado DDT, but Gale lands on his feet and counters that offense, and now looking for an up and over. Oh, counters it beautifully. I think he was fading for the up and over. Caught him with an enziguri though. Irish whip reversal by Steve Valentino into the corner. Up goes JJ Gale once again though, and a beautiful roll through into a coup de grace from JJ Gale. You think you got the measure of the man, and then all of a sudden he just explodes out of nowhere. Talk about a final boss in British professional wrestling. None come more exciting, more explosive than JJ Gale. Looking to build up ahead of steam and a vicious back elbow into the corner. Looking for a roaring European uppercut once again. And Valentino now getting a little bit of his own medicine, courtesy of that fish hook, and a lovely spinning heel kick by JJ Gale. And Valentino is all over the shop. He's in big trouble here. German suplex attempt blocked by Valentino. Comes off the ropes. Bypass and a snap. German suplex and the kip up. JJ Gale is now picking up speed here. Sling blade applied by the SWW Heavyweight Champion. And oh man, Valentino's shoulder just barely got off the canvas. But you know what? Barely will do. Bottom line is it was off the canvas. So it's not a free count. This match continues. If you had your money on JJ Gale coming into this matchup, you're probably feeling like the odds-on favourite right now, because JJ Gale is in the ascendancy and nobody ascends quite like Heart and Soul JJ Gale. I believe he might be looking for Gale for springboard cutter, but Valentino able to put the blocks on, catches him flush, reverses into a reverse DDT. Got to get the pinfall, does so. Took his time though, and JJ Gale just out at 2 7/8. So maybe that split second of hesitation from Steve Valentino was all JJ Gale needed to get his shoulder off the canvas. He does so. Valentino is really rocking and rolling, has put up one hell of a fight, and has certainly made a real case for himself here, testing himself against the very best in the land. If you can go toe-to-toe with JJ Gale, you can pretty much do anything in this business. And credit to Valentino, whether you like the captain or not. Was looking for the DDT, but JJ Gale escapes with a forearm, ducks a clothesline attempt, a humongous discus forearm right to the chin. JJ Gale burn up out of steam. Look out, Gale Force again, but this time Valentino again had it scouted. And now looking for that big old captain's DDT, the tornado DDT, catches him flush. Is Steve Valentino going to pick up the biggest win of his career? But JJ Gale able to just get his shoulder off the canvas. Incredible high-flying, high-octane, high-impact, hard-hitting offense from Valentino to JJ Gale, but Gale is still in the fight. Heart and Soul isn't just a moniker, it is a lifestyle. It is the modus operandi of the SWW Heavyweight Champion. Well, this crowd, a lull has really come over the box here in FarGo Village in Coventry, and there's just nothing fancy about that. Just a straight right hand to the face by Steve Valentine, looking to disable that aerial offense once again. And Steve Valentino up to the second rope. JJ Gale recognises the issue, but gets a boot to the back for his troubles. JJ Gale cutting Steve Valentino off of the pass, not allowing him to build any offense, and a headbutt flush. Both men in a precarious position. But I would argue none are more comfortable on the ropes than JJ Gale. A true athlete in every sense, looking potentially for a superplex, and Steve Valentino trying every bit to try and block it. Oh, careful now. Oh, a precarious position, as I mentioned, and now Valentino is able to tuck JJ Gale in and could be looking for a... I thought he was looking for a sunset bomb. Good God almighty. He's looking for a pile driver off of the top rope, and that certainly will get the job done. But JJ Gale's athleticism beggars belief. He's able to escape, and he back body drops Steve Valentine off the top rope to the floor below. JJ Gale is perched on the second rope, and now he's climbing to the top. Steve Valentino is in the drop zone, ladies and gentlemen. JJ Gale is perched, ready to go, and a big old moonsault right across the body of Steve Valentino. Deep cover, and the SWW Heavyweight Champion picks up another dub here at the Wrestling 4 in Coventry. JJ Gale put on a hell of a display, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention just how impressive Steve Valentino looked in this matchup. But the SWW champion has prevailed, and JJ Gale picks up what seems to be yet another win in an endless catalogue of excellence. JJ Gale drinking in the adoration of this magnificent audience. Steve Valentino, like I said, put up a hell of a fight against the SWW Heavyweight Champion, and got a lot of props from one of the best. JJ Gale offering his hand, offering a level of respect not often afforded by some of the best. And that says a lot that JJ Gale is willing to show so much love to Steve Valentino, who really did put up a hell of a fight here this afternoon. Well, the captain's hook has been offered, and I think this is a... He's asking JJ Gale to indulge him in a hook, his form of a handshake. Captain's honor. The hook has been applied. A lot of love and a lot of respect shown by JJ Gale and Steve Valentino to each other. Well, a fantastic show of sportsmanship and a magnificent effort by Steve Valentino, coming up just short. Absolutely no shame in losing out to one of the best in the world today, ladies and gentlemen. The SWW Heavyweight Champion, Heart and Soul, JJ Gale, prevails here at the Wrestling 4 over a game Steve Valentino.
What a match. What do we think of that? Absolutely outstanding. Are we having a good time so far? That's it. We are not done just yet, because it is now time for your main event! The following contest is for the Southwest Wrestling Openweight Championship and will be contested under Falls Count Anywhere, meaning no disqualification, no count out, pins can happen everywhere and anywhere. Introducing first, the challenger.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the beautiful Troy Grant has just told you, this will be contested under Falls Count Anywhere rules, which essentially means no rules. You can pin or submit your opponent anywhere in this arena. Hell, you can even do it in a parking lot, and I wouldn't put it past either of these men to brawl to the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger. This matchup will also be for the SWW Open Weight Championship. This is the challenger. We saw him earlier tonight, sticking his nose in where it didn't belong in that magnificent matchup between Brandon Lee and Chris Bronson. Is it going to be a second successful outing for Charlie Sterling?
Introducing the challenger from Bristol, but this evening representing Leicester. He is known every pound, Charlie Sterling.
Well, make no bones about it. Charlie Sterling might have a bad attitude, but he has got every single trick and tool in the game. This is truly one of the best professional wrestlers in Britain. Our very own technical legend, one of the all-time greats, Joel Redmond, has told me personally that he believes Charlie Sterling to be one of the best wrestlers in the world. That is high praise coming from someone the likes of Joel Redmond, the benchmark of professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Someone who will know Charlie Sterling very well. I certainly know Charlie Sterling very well. I've had the pleasure of calling and capturing a number of his matchups, and Charlie Sterling is about to go one-on-one with the SWW Openweight Champion. What a challenge this will be. Representing Leicester, might I add, despite being from Bristol. So we couldn't upset people anymore in this building. And his opponent doesn't really need an introduction, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about size, we talk about meat, we talk about protein, we talk about big old kaijus, big meaty men slapping meat. They don't come much bigger than this man. The SWW Openweight Champion is on his way to a hometown reception like no other, on his birthday, no less. The King of Beasts, ladies and gentlemen, the SWW Openweight Champion, which basically means you can face anyone of any weight or description, and trust me, they don't come much bigger, much badder, much cooler than Big Jim DieHard, a unit in every single professional wrestling marker. Look at the goddamn size of him. Absolute meaty mammoth on his way to the ring. Charlie Sterling may have had no problem taking a cheap shot at Brandon Lee. Let's see how well he does when he's faced with over 300 pounds of protein factory. The unit, the king of the beasts, the SWW Openweight Champion, Big Jim DieHard versus Charlie Sterling. Falls Count Anywhere, your main event here for the Wrestling 4. And oh, come on, Charlie Sterling. Well, it's smart, albeit cowardly in many ways, taking a cheap shot, looking to disable that huge advantage that Big Jim DieHard has in the power game early doors. Irish whip out of the corner, and Big Jim DieHard explodes with a lariat. And oh boy, all you've done is absolutely riled up the big man. And now Big Jim DieHard looking to tenderize that meat, ladies and gentlemen, looking to wear down Mr. Charlie Sterling. He is worth every pound, when he's going to get quite a pounding here at the Wrestling 4, if Big Jim DieHard has anything to say about it. But well, Charlie Sterling didn't get this far in the game and become one of the greatest of all time by being a slouch in the professional wrestling department. And Jim DieHard sidesteps Sterling, and he goes crashing to the hard floor below. He brought out that wet floor sign, did Charlie Sterling. Not sure what he's implying with that. Well, I think I am, but as it's family friendly, I won't delve too much into that. What's Charlie Sterling doing? He's backing off of Jim DieHard is what he's doing. Oh, big Jim DieHard. The challenge has been put out by Charlie Sterling. I think Charlie Sterling fancies himself in terms of pace and athleticism, and rightfully so. Charlie Sterling is a world-class athlete. Look at him just mocking Jim DieHard, who is... Jim DieHard's not going to give pace, and yeah, Charlie Sterling, when he goaded big Jim DieHard into a bit of a race and took full advantage, and well, big Jim DieHard, despite 20 years in the game, got sucking in courtesy of a veteran in his own right in Charlie Sterling. These are two of the mainstays of British professional wrestling, and you know, without being too much of a sycophant, big Jim DieHard is one of the main reasons why I decided to become a professional wrestler myself, ladies and gentlemen. A man of true power and raw size and ability, and genuinely one of the most loved men in all of Coventry, and clearly beloved here in his hometown on his 40th birthday. Doesn't look a day over the age of 25, you sexy beast. Charlie Sterling doesn't really care about your age, doesn't really care about your experience. All he cares about is drilling Jim DieHard, and now just biting at the forehead. It's all legal, by the way. All legal with Falls Count anywhere, and Jim DieHard sends Charlie Sterling crashing to the floor below, and now sends the... Oh, wow. Vicious fists coming in. Raining blows courtesy of the unit himself. Jim DieHard now looking to tee off on the side of Charlie Sterling's head. Some might argue he deserves a bit of a kick in after the way he behaved earlier, and particularly with his attitude. The Big Ten is incoming. My God almighty, those big old ham hawks just come crashing down, and I don't think Sterling has any idea where he is, but he's able to duck the clothesline and gets a right hand for his troubles. Big Jim DieHard is cooking here. Falls Count anywhere. Pinfall in the ring, however. And for those of you who are uninitiated, Falls Count anywhere means that Jim DieHard could have pinned him outside. Hell, he could pin him on the prone body of Troy Grant if he wanted to. Not giving him ideas, of course. I'm sure Troy Grant would certainly not appreciate that. I want to be ruining that beautiful two-piece combination that master of lyricism is wearing this evening. Big Jim DieHard is now stalking Charlie Sterling. Says, where do you think you're going, sunshine? Comes to the back, and well, I said it was Falls Count anywhere. The action is spilling to the outside real quick, and big Jim DieHard is in his element. I don't think Charlie Sterling, a purist of his nature, is going to want to get into a straight-up fist fight, a street fight with someone like Charlie Sterling as they're working their way to the outside area, and Sterling just gets his face shoved right into the wall. And Jim DieHard snapmares Charlie Sterling onto the floor, and there's the Falls Count anywhere I was talking about. Pinfall on the outside, 2 count only. Like I said, pinfall or submission anywhere in the building to finish this matchup. No disqualification, no countouts, no rules, just meaty men slapping meat for your disposition here at the Wrestling 4 in Coventry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out that we will be returning on Friday the 14th of November at the box in FarGo Village, where we're here tonight, and big Jim DieHard was looking to clean up some trash and make a clean sweep of things here at the expense of Charlie Sterling. Look out, fire exit, crash. Bit of contact there as DieHard's face collided off, and now looks like Sterling is looking to make full use of anything that isn't nailed down as he just clatters big Jim DieHard over the spine with that solid wooden broom, and now looking to sweep the man. Just a lack of respect as he drives the broom right into the sternum. And Charlie Sterling drawing the ire of this audience. Big Jim DieHard, of course, the big hometown favourite. And as I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, Friday, the 14th of November, we will return. There will be a fully stocked bar. There will be retro video games. There will be merchandise. Oh, baby, the Wrestling 5 returns to Coventry on Friday, the 14th of November. Will Big Jim DieHard be in attendance? Flush off the back of a fantastic win in Falls Count anywhere? Or will be Charlie Sterling, the cock of the walk, swanning around as Jim DieHard sends Sterling crashing into the wall once again? Well, Falls Count anywhere, living up to its moniker. And I mentioned merch, and there's a sample of some of our sexy merch as Jim DieHard gets something to the face there, and Charlie Sterling now using anything that isn't now down to gain an advantage. But once again, Jim DieHard, oh my God, sent Charlie Sterling right over the merchandise table, and his back just clattered into the wall. Well, Jim DieHard not impressed at the lack of size in the t-shirt that was thrown at him by Charlie Sterling. How dare you indeed. And Jim DieHard now sends Charlie Sterling square into the ring post. That young man, certainly a big fan of Jim DieHard. You want to be careful now. Jim DieHard with a broom. I mean, the broom doesn't necessarily consider itself to be the most devastating weapon in all of professional wrestling, but in the hands of Jim DieHard, it becomes a lightsaber. Pinfall on the outside here, 2 count only, says referee Charles Wheeler. But Jim DieHard scouring the box here in FarGo, looking for something. And what in God's name has he found? Oh no. Jim DieHard, I do believe, has found a folded table. And oh man, I think Charlie Sterling for a moment was begging off, drew Jim DieHard in, caught him in the midsection. I think Charlie Sterling has just realised that this could be a double weapon, and he certainly uses it to full effect, clattering that folded table right over the back of big Jim DieHard. Charlie Sterling, asking if these people want to see him drive big Jim DieHard through the table, and Charlie Sterling putting the table away. Well, ever the buzzkill is Charlie Sterling moving this table from the matchup, and we're going right back to this wooden broom that's getting more work in. I hope it's not getting paid by the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Although the exit should be quite easy on that one, if I'm being real. And Charlie Sterling is making an example here of big Jim DieHard in his hometown. Well, Charlie Sterling is asking for the referee's belt. Oh, no. Well, looks like Charlie Sterling is going to whip big Jim DieHard. That's exactly what he did, laying leather to the spine of big Jim DieHard. Curse out the referee's belt. That is nasty. That is violent. That is ugly. That's going to leave a mark, ladies and gentlemen. Right in front of his own family, big Jim DieHard being whipped around this ring by Charlie Sterling, who will stoop to no level in his need to beat big Jim DieHard. You can see all of a sudden the mentality shift from Charlie Sterling. There is evil in the eyes of Sterling as I think he had the belt wrapped around his fist, but Jim DieHard with a monstrous snap Samoan drop takes Sterling up and down again. And doesn't matter what you throw at Jim DieHard, trying to disable a man of this size is frankly beyond anyone's recognition. And now, oh boy, turnabout is fair play. You wanted to bring this belt into play, and now Charlie Sterling is going to get exactly what he deserves at the hands of the King of the Beasts, and he is just wailing away on the spine of Sterling. Wraps it around that big old ham hook, and a big old right hand clatters Charlie Sterling. Referee gets his belt back, and now pinfall in the middle of the ring, 2 count only. Says referee Charles Wheeler. Put that belt back on, sunshine. I don't want to see your trousers falling down at this moment in time. Falls count anywhere. Oh boy. Well, Jim DieHard looking to back that up. Yes, indeed. And how about a good old-fashioned stink face? A little bit of embarrassment for Charlie Sterling, bringing that absolute maniac of ego back down to earth. With a crash is big Jim DieHard, a man of the people, as he crashes Sterling off of the ring apron. Nothing but solid, powerful. Oh man. Oh, a wet floor sign right across the skull of Charlie Sterling, and every single time Sterling seems to think he's got the upper hand. Oh, boots up, and Charlie Sterling gets sent inadvertently into this individual's foot. And rightfully so, bleeding off his trainer. Don't want to leave that muck behind, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to wipe your feet whenever you head round to your friend's house. And now, both of these young individuals driving themselves into Charlie Sterling. I told you anything was a weapon, anything that wasn't nailed down, and none of our audience are nailed down, so why not take advantage of that? Big Jim DieHard getting a nice little swig of Britain's best, a lovely pint, and spitting it into the face of Charlie Sterling. He spent a lot of time running his mouth, disrespecting people, disrespecting our lovely city of Coventry, disrespecting everything about Jim DieHard and what he's about. And now he is going to get it at the hands of this whopping kaiju of professional wrestling. By the way, the SWW Openweight Championship is still on the line, and good God almighty, are you going to need a clean-up after that? That wet floor sign right across the skull. Pinfall by Big Jim DieHard, and credit to Charlie Sterling, able to get his shoulder up despite that pinning combination. Charlie Sterling, I have to say, has absorbed a lot of punishment in this matchup, but he's still going. But for how much longer, I couldn't tell you, because Big Jim DieHard is prepped and ready. Could be a big old meaty choke slam coming. Looks to set him up, but Charlie Sterling able to counter kick to the midsection. Double underhook. Pedigree to the big man in the middle of the ring. Pinning combination. Is that going to be enough? No, it isn't. Falls count anywhere for the SWW Openweight Champion. We almost had a new champion there in Charlie Sterling. And I don't know how SWW is going to react if Big Jim DieHard is beaten for the Openweight Championship here tonight in front of his own family and friends. But Charlie Sterling is looking to add to the numerous accolades he's collected. And he is just drilling that sign right into the style. Come on, disrespecting our referee. I know it's no disqualification, but you keep your hands off of our head official, Charles Wheeler. No need for that from Charlie Sterling. Once again, showing that lack of respect. No class, no etiquette, no quality from a man who is worth every pound. Well, he's brandishing the Openweight Championship, but he hasn't earned it yet, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, careful now. Charlie Sterling needs to be very careful. And meanwhile, Big Jim DieHard using that distraction to his advantage, looking to catch Charlie Sterling flush, who's in a precarious position on the top rope. Oh, Big Jim DieHard. This is not exactly familiar territory for the King of the Beast, but he's going to look to apply a mammoth brain buster like superplex. Good God almighty, I will be amazed if we don't need to scoop Charlie Sterling off of the floor after that. But he's back to his feet. Look how, looking for contact there, didn't get all of it, certainly did on that one. Contact to the face. Charlie Sterling amazingly still on his feet, and now a humongous scoop slam. Look out, big train are coming, and the elbow is dropped right across the chest of Charlie Sterling. Pinfall, but Sterling, to his credit, somehow still able to get his shoulder up and stay in this fight. This is your main event here at the Wrestling 4 in Coventry, ladies and gentlemen. The SWW Openweight Championship being contested between the champion Big Jim DieHard, the hometown hero, and Charlie Sterling in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. Charlie Sterling able to escape super kick right on the chin. Nothing but beard and chin there for Charlie Sterling as he sends Big Jim DieHard into the corner once again. Going to build up a head of steam and a vicious kick right to the face. Is that going to be enough for a new champion? No, it's not. Big Jim DieHard able to get his shoulder off the canvas. Over 20 years, Big Jim DieHard has been setting the pace, setting the standard of excellence for super heavyweights in all of British professional wrestling. But Charlie Sterling, whether you like the man or not, has given him every single bit. And that's the problem with Charlie Sterling right there. The lack of respect, just slapping Big Jim DieHard across the face. Charlie Sterling has picked up the SWW Openweight Championship belt, and I believe is looking to leave a permanent mark on the face of Big Jim DieHard on his way to a brand new championship win, as he just clatters poor Big Jim DieHard right in the face. Jim DieHard's family forced to watch as Charlie Sterling takes his time, hooks the leg, and that will be that. No, it's not. Big Jim DieHard, well, maybe that split second, maybe that little bit of showboating was the wrong idea from Charlie Sterling. He certainly looks perplexed. He can't believe that a shot to the face with the SWW Openweight Championship was not enough to dispatch Big Jim DieHard, but surely at some point he's going to be intelligent enough to realise that it's going to take something truly special to keep down a man of this size, and I think we are looking for a pedigree on the gold. Charlie Sterling hooks both the arms. If he gets this, he will be a new champion. But Big Jim DieHard powers out with a back body drop. Oh boy, look out. A choke slam right onto the SWW Openweight Championship pinfall. Oh my God, Charlie Sterling still able to get his shoulder off the canvas. You don't have to like the man, but you have to respect the passion and the resiliency. And Big Jim DieHard says, where's the table at? Maybe a table is what is going to be enough to keep one of these men down. And Big Jim DieHard, if he gets his way, if he could drill Charlie Sterling through the table, no doubt will retain the SWW Openweight Championship here in our main event. Now Big Jim DieHard looking to unfold the table. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And here comes the furniture, as expected. As we said, falls count anywhere, anything goes. If it's not nailed down, it can be used against him. And Charlie Sterling, I think, recognises what's going on. Still suffering the effects of that devastating chokeslam. Oh, well, yeah, listen to Charlie Sterling now, begging off from Big Jim DieHard. Jim DieHard says, no remorse, I'm going to put you through this table. You're going to get exactly what you deserve for your behaviour. Oh, wait a minute, what the hell? Chris Bronson and KIAN are out here. And I mentioned no disqualification. These idiots, these friends. KIAN, of course, embarrassed earlier tonight in a bad enough move. Chris Bronson, courtesy of the assist from Charlie Sterling. I guess he's repaying the favour after he helped him take out Brandon Lee earlier tonight. A cry of little legs, obviously, who knocked off KIAN earlier tonight. Charlie Sterling is directing traffic here, and 3-on-1. Oh, come on. Oh, the table's legs, unfortunately, have given way here. I'm not sure whether that's good or bad news if you're Big Jim DieHard. Charlie Sterling. Charlie Sterling now looking to place that table in the corner. I guess if the legs don't work, then we'll just prop it in the corner instead. Either way, someone's going through some wood, and Big Jim DieHard is in serious trouble here. It was a tough enough challenge against Charlie Sterling, but against Chris Bronson and KIAN, you got to think these odds are insurmountable, and I think a shield bomb is going to come at the expense of... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here comes Little Legs. Little Legs has decided, sod it, I'm not going to stand here and watch you three idiots behave in the way you are. And here comes, of all the people to save Big Jim DieHard, his long-term friend, Europe's shortest wrestler, Little Legs, has said, you know what? I'm not backing up from Charlie Sterling, KIAN, and... Oh, man, well, unfortunately, he suffered a big boot, and now, like a hungry pack of wolves, real big men attacking Little Legs. 3-on-1. Well, this is absolute garbage. Oh, look at the absolute mammoth size of the henchman, ladies and gentlemen. One of the dearest and nearest friends and former tag team partner of Big Jim DieHard, a meeting of the minds, looking to even the odds in favour of Big Jim himself, an absolute mammoth, meaty Leviathan in his own right. Well, the henchman, or one half of the henchman, has done the damage here, has sent the idiots packing. That means Charlie Sterling is all alone with Big Jim DieHard, but a low blow. For the love of God, what is it gonna take for Charlie Sterling? He'll go to any length, won't he, to just destroy the legacy here of Big Jim DieHard. And meanwhile, a low blow from Little Legs. How about that? And a big old spear through the table from Big Jim DieHard into the pin, and Big Jim DieHard retains the SWW Openweight Championship in a mammoth main event.
Southwest Wrestling Openweight Champion, Coventry's own, the King of the Beast, Big Jim DieHard.
For over 20 years, the mammoth level of excellence, the preeminent super heavyweight of British professional wrestling, and still, courtesy of a magnificent assist by Little Legs, your Southwest Wrestling Openweight Champion, Big Jim DieHard. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here at the Wrestling 4 in Coventry. Happy birthday to the big man. A lot of love shown to his longtime friend Little Legs. A big old embrace. We will be back, ladies and gentlemen, Friday the 14th of November at the Box in FarGo Village in Coventry. It'll be a fully stacked bar. It'll be retro games and merch. Doors will open at 6. The show will start at a prompt 7 p.m. Come and join us on November 14th, ladies and gentlemen, in Coventry. Get your tickets right now at the Wrestling on social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Wrestling 4. A moment of magic on his birthday as Big Jim DieHard is joined by his family and friends. Congratulations to the big man. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Wrestling 4. I've been Aeron Nix, and we'll see you in November.